What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and today we are back to talk about the Sistas season 4 finale. And can I tell you something? I'm disappointed, but let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So I'm gonna start this off by saying I really had high hopes for this finale. I was hoping that Tyler Perry was going to resolve some issues. I understand that there needs to be cliffhangers and whatnot for us to continue to watch, but we can't keep going episode after episode, season after season of stuff dragging on. There are so many scenes where there were extra words that didn't need to happen. Too many I knows and you show and all this. It's giving a bunch of filler scenes about a bunch of BS, okay? But let's get into it, y'all. So Zach goes to this room, if you will, for the potential menagerie of boudoir with this old non-melanated woman, okay? And he basically says, hell no, my dick won't go inside you, okay? So he basically like, I ain't about to F you, sis. I ain't about to do it. Y'all know I can't curse in the first 2 minutes, so but that's what we're doing. So moving on, he says he's in love, so he just can't do it. So she says she was in love for 30 years and look where it got her. I'm like, okay, that was a line we didn't need. We don't care about your life. You are over here trying to disrupt somebody else's life. Are you going to snitch or not? That's what I need to know. If I don't give you the D, are you going to tell on me? That's all I want to know. And if you're not, whatever. And Zach brings up a good point. He's like, okay, what's gonna stop you from keep on coming back? Because I'm definitely gonna dick you down if I do it. I'm definitely gonna do that, and it's gonna be good, and you're gonna love it. So why would I not? What would stop you from continuing to come back? And she then sits back and ponders. Well, I can't say that I wouldn't come back. So he effed either way. And mind you, riddle me this, Batman. Okay? So if sis tells on him, aren't you going to get in trouble too? Because you are out here distributing information with people coming up on stocks. So if you hadn't never told him about the stock tip of it all, he wouldn't be in this predicament. So two fools together gonna go to jail together. All right? I don't understand how she would get out scot-free from this. So this is yet another thing that doesn't make sense. Now I get it. It's TV, as Martin says. It's just TV. But some things just have to make sense. You know, in this situation, don't make no sense. Because that's an obvious thing that this chick would get in trouble too. So Hayden is obviously putting her up to do his dirty work to try to get Zach in trouble. But it don't make no sense, because if she snitch, she gonna be in the ditch right on with him. So moving on. So he starts to drinking and contemplating and whatnot. And he decides, you know what? Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no river low enough. That's gonna make me put my dick in you, baby. In my Mama Joyce voice. Okay. So he decides, you know what? I've been to jail before. I'm gonna go ahead and just ride it out behind bars, because I would rather go to jail than to be locked up in your pouditoire. Okay? So he decides to roll the hell up on out of there. And she's like, you're going to go to jail. And he's like, whatever, I don't care. So she's like, well, take this just in case. I'm going to stay here for a couple more hours and I'm going to let you think about it. So she gives him the room key. And he's like, you know what? Fine, I'll take it. So he takes the room key. I'm like, Zach, if you are so hell-bent on your convictions and you really convincing this lady that you're not going to give her the D, why would you take the whatever? Moving on. So Fatima goes into Andy's office and she's obviously very flustered. And Andy is like, girl, what the hell is wrong with you? And she's like, oh, nothing, I'm okay. Oh man, I forgot my laptop. Let me go. My laptop is in the car. Let me go get my laptop. And Andy is like, girl, sit down and calm your nerves. You need a Xanax. Like, what's going on? You're acting real crazy. Tell me what's going on. So of course, Fatima ain't about to willingly give up no information. So Andy starts asking her questions like, yeah, so I heard about the baby mama situation showing up. How you feel about that? And I saw Karen told me that she was at your crib too. So what's going on? I know you got this got to be the reason why you so over here all bent out of shape. So Fatima is like, damn, so Karen told you? I'm like, girl, you knew goddamn well that Karen was going to tell this girl about what happened. But what I would like to do is I would like for Zatima, the show, to start, because this whole friendship with Andy that has obviously developed and progressed nicely, with Fatima having a larger role, with Crystal Renee having a bigger role in the show. I like it, but I need to see Fatima with some of her own friends, because the sisters group is always going to be more loyal to each other than they are to her. So I need to have somebody outside of Zach that's going to be loyal to her. Like, I want to see her have a friend on the show. And maybe that's going to happen in the new show that Tyler Perry is building around Duval Ellis and Crystal Renee, which is Zach and Fatima's character. So I'm interested to see that interaction and see her with some people that actually are going to be 100% in her corner for once. So Andy says, she's not going to tell Karen about what's going on with her. She promises. So Fatima says Andy says, I know you're faithful and loyal to Zach, but this stuff Hayden is saying. And Fatima says, I'm trying not to panic. I'm trying not to panic. And Andy says, if you wait too long, this will get bad. Basically talking about the stuff that's going on with Hayden trying to get her caught up, if you will, Zach caught up and get them both to go back to jail. So Andy says, if you want to talk about it? And she says, no, but I do want to talk about Karen. And so Andy says, Karen is definitely sad. She's not feeling good about coming to the house, if you will. She's very embarrassed about it. But my thing is, what did Karen actually hope to accomplish by coming to that house? Did she think that Zach was going to just somehow be like, oh, I love the toxicity, Karen. Thank you. I was waiting for you to come here and try to steal me from this chick that absolutely loves me and doesn't treat me like trash like you. I want to go back to the toxicity. I love it. I want to be back in a relationship with a toxic bird like you. Absolutely not. I don't know why Karen thought that her being pregnant or having his baby was going to make him fall back into her toxic web of foolery. It's not going to happen. Give it up. So then Andy says she hopes that Fatima doesn't regret being so entangled with Zach and being so loyal to him. And Fatima is like, he's a good guy, and I'm going to pretty much bend over backwards for him. Like, I want to be there for him. And then Andy was like, but girl, like, what the hell? Another baby? And I feel like this conversation was going too long. So then Andy starts talking about some car that she just really wanted, and it was so great and all this stuff. And, she just really wanted, she was going to do anything to get this car. So she gets the car, and it's giving her all these problems, but she kept on fixing the car and kept fixing the car, but it just kept failing her. And she's trying to compare Zach to said car. And Fatima is like, girl, I don't know what the fuck you talking about right now with this damn car, but Zach is loyal to me, so I'm gonna be loyal to him, and I'm gonna stick beside him. So all of this stuff you talking about a car, you need to take your own damn advice with Gary. That's what you need to do, because that is crazy. Squeezing ribs and buying daggone condos and want to take you back, and Bentleys and want to take them back. Girl, I know you fucking lying about to give me some damn advice. You need to listen to your damn self. And that's what I was thinking the whole time Andy was talking with her boobs out in that damn suit, which was absolutely beautiful. But Andy, you got the boobies fresh out the box, ma'am. I don't know if that's how they dressing up in the law firms now, but hey, whatever. She was cute. So anyway, Andy didn't agree. She says, all of this sounds familiar. Of course, I'm one to talk, which I'm glad she did say that. And she said, I agree. Zach has potential and he is a good man. And she, says that she hopes that everything just basically works out for Fatima and it's all worth it. So Sabrina sees Bayou at a coffee shop. And I'm like, how many coffee shops is there in this area? And is this man stalking her? So he's like, please talk to me, please. I'm so sorry about what happened. And, let me show you these pictures of these women from my country, and you'll see why I was just so enamored by Danny. I didn't mean anything by it. So he shows her these pictures, and Sabrina falls for the bullshit. I'm like, Sabrina, first of all, hmm, are you wondering why he has these pictures of all these women in his phone? Mm-hmm. It's giving, by you, is you human trafficking? What are you doing? What are you doing in these streets? Why do you have so many photos of women in your phone? And they ain't from the damn tribe. You ain't fooling nobody, okay? What are you doing? You plotting on Sabrina and Danny. I don't know what type of sick stuff he into, but he would have showed me them pictures, and I'd have been like, yeah. And Sabrina's like, yeah, send them to me. I would have been like, yeah, send them to me so I can send it to the FBI. Because you ain't fooling nobody by you. You over here doing some stuff that you ain't supposed to be doing. But instead, he asked her, now that you see what's going on and why I was loving your friend so much, now do you understand? And Sabrina acts like, sure, this all makes sense now. And she decides that she gonna hang out with him again. He keeps begging her to say that she's gonna call, or they gonna hang out soon and whatnot. So she takes the bait. She don't even leave out the damn coffee shop. She right behind the man on the phone calling Danny, trying to plead her case. She's like, girl, he just showed me all these pics of all this women from his country. That's why he was so on you. Like, it all makes sense. And Danny like, girl, I know you fucking lying. Do you believe this man? Uh-huh. You are a bird brain. I don't, Sabrina, get off my phone with this foolishness, because you a fool. Okay. So Sabrina says, okay, well, I gotta go to work. So then she says, I'm gonna absolutely see him again. Sabrina says that to Danny. So moving on, they in that conversation, which I was like, child, that was so worthless. So then Danny talks to Logan and tells him whatever he thinks about Sabrina, it is wrong. And he says, okay. And then he says, well, I have some FBI agents coming in, so, I have something to do later. And he says, but he says he left dinner because he can't be seen with someone he is investigating. And he will take her to dinner and explain it. Here's my thing. You telling me that you investigating my friend, and then you think you're going to take me out to dinner? Sir, I know you bumped your head 50 times and didn't wake up, because clearly it's a miracle for you to be standing here talking to me. Because if you think that this is going to make sense and I'm going to actually be seen in public with you, absolutely not. Abso-freaking-lutely not. And Danny says, so you mean to tell me that you're trying to take down my friend and I'm going to go out with you? You better think again. And I'm so glad that she said that, because that's all the only thing that made sense that she done talked about all day. So he says he isn't trying to take down her friend, but he has to go because the agents arrived. So they're going to go on their little mission. Mind you, they don't got no agents in Atlanta. So you had to fly some in for a little bank robbery. Y'all ain't got no police officers that's local. You had to fly some in. I guess you had to give it some context, child, being at the damn airport and whatnot, but whatever. So in the next scene, Gary comes to the office and Fatima walks by him. And she's like, at first she was like, you know what, I ain't gonna pay this nigga no mind. But then she turns around and says, well, what the hell you doing here? And Andy is busy. He's like, I'm here to see my lawyer. She said, well, Andy don't want to see you. And he was like, I'm not here to see that bitch. I'm like, first of all, I know you fucking lying calling her a bitch. Okay. You tried it. He's like, I'm here to see Hayden. So he goes into the office with Hayden to talk about whatever stupid diabolical plan he gonna muster up to try to get after Andy. Okay. So Fatima goes in Andy's office and tells her that Gary is there. Andy says, ugh, I don't want to see him. And Fatima says, actually, he isn't here to see you. He is here to see Hayden. Okay. And I'm like, Fatima, you definitely left out that Sir called her a bitch. I'm gonna need you to go ahead and tell her that part too, sis. So she says, my laptop isn't in the car. I'm gonna have to go home and get it. So Andy says, yeah, go home and get your laptop, and I'm gonna figure out what the hell going on here while he up in here talking to Hayden in the meantime, in between time. Okay. So in the next scene, Gary is in Hayden's office and he tells him that he made a mistake. Ooh, hold on, y'all. Sorry. But this is my second video of the night. My throat just got real dry. Hold on. Excuse me. All right. So Gary is in Hayden's office. Excuse me. He tells him he made a mistake and wants to get the apartment he bought for Andy back. And Hayden says you can sue her for it, and he would be happy to file it, and he would love to help him basically get Andy. Okay. So he was like, I want to sue her for the car too. Can I do that? And then Hayden says, sure. And we can get her for pain and suffering too. And Gary says, what do you need from me to get this done? And here's my thing. How you going to sue somebody for pain and suffering for gifts that you bought them? You cannot, that's not pain nor suffering. You voluntarily purchased these gifts for her. So now that she don't want you, you want to sue her for it. Now, Andy was smart. She got that penthouse put in her name. And if I was her, I would keep it, because what you're not going to do, how about the pain and suffering that you actually caused me? Squeezing my ribs, cheating on me, not telling me that you were married for quite some time, constantly promising me that you're going to divorce your wife and you never did. And by the way, where's Gary's kids? We don't never see him with his kids. He always hustling after Andy and spying on her. You need to make some time for your damn children. How about that? We ain't seen no kids from Gary. And where is the wife? What happened to her? It's a lot of unfinished stuff. And that's what I'm talking about with Tyler Perry. Like, Black people, we love to support Tyler Perry. It's amazing to see him doing so well. And that's why I want to keep watching the shows. And some of them are very intriguing and I love them. But you got to make this stuff make sense. It's a lot of unfinished things. And I'm starting to see where a lot of the stories mirror a lot of his other shows. It's like the same plot over and over again, and it thickens, but never gets solved. And you got to solve some stuff. Something has to be done about all these unfinished situations. And the people that are involved in these situations are not being properly represented. But anyway, he gonna try to play court, child, and sue Andy for all she got, okay? Or for all he done got her. Moving on. Jake comes to Zach's house because Zach called him as he was leaving the hotel room from the non-melanated lady that wanted to hop on his D-Wagon. And he asked him to come over so that he can talk about what exactly he can do to get himself out of this situation that he done screwed himself up and got himself involved in. So, mind you, Zach, why are you on camera outside of this lady's hotel room? That could be something else that they can use against you. But anyway, so Jake says, Zach says, you know, do I have enough to prove to the SCC that I'm legit? And Jake says, yeah, but if this lady is blackmailing you over this stock tip, I don't know if that's going to help in court. If she tells them that she's actually the one that gave you the stock tip, there's nothing that you can do. So Jake says, so what's going to stop her from coming back if you screw her? And he's like, you know, just make sure it's bad. Like, maybe you could just do it bad and then she won't want anymore. And Zach was like, I don't know how to do that because I'm pretty good at what I do with my magic stick, if you know what I'm saying. So Jake is like, ooh, I don't know what to tell you then. So then Jake says, you really think she's going to stay quiet if you sleep with her? And as he says that, here comes Fatima coming in here. So Fatima is like, if you do what with her? Who you talking about? So Jake was like, yeah, I'm Jake from State Farm, and this is my cue to leave. So he rolls out. So Zach ends up having to tell Fatima exactly what's going on and about the lady blackmailing him. And Fatima says, so what if she doesn't say anything? If you sure that she not going to say nothing? And he was like, I mean, I don't know. And then Fatima says, well, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and screw her. And then Fatima reaches for her purse. And Zach is like, are you serious? And as she's reaching for her purse, he's like holding her hand down, like, hold on, wait a minute. What you about to do with that purse? Because Fatima is like, what am I trying to say? Medea with this purse. Like she got a gun in there or something. Jamie's got a gun and ain't nobody trying to see what's in that purse. So Zach is like, all right, now I don't believe you telling me to do this. And she's like, go ahead. If that's going to stop her, why not? But I think that was when Fatima took the hotel room key. Like, I think she swiped it from his pocket, and that's how she went to the hotel room at the end of the episode. But whatever, however she figured it out, she was there. Okay. So she reaches for a purse and walks on out. It says, figure it out. So Pam is talking and she asks Karen if she's okay, because Karen looks really flustered and very faint. And she's like, you can't be working so hard. You've been on your feet all day. And so Karen finishes up her client, and her and Pam are having a little dialogue, and Karen is overcome by the perm smell. She's like, oh my God, it smells so bad. Like, I just cannot take it. And then all of a sudden, Pam says, oh my God, Karen, you're bleeding. Which I'm like, I ain't seen no blood on that outfit. What was the blood? Make it real for me. Dress it up and make it real for me. I ain't seen no blood. So she puts a towel around Karen and they walk off. So I guess they're alluding to Karen possibly having a miscarriage. But I don't think she had a miscarriage, because that's just too much like right. Okay. Sorry, but that's how I feel. Moving on. Preston visits Danny at the airport, and he's saying he's so sorry and he really wanted it to all work out, but it's really nothing left in Atlanta for him. And he didn't want to call her because he didn't think that she was going to answer. And Danny was like, I always answer your phone call, so that's a bunch of BS. And so he was like, well, I didn't think you were going to answer, so I'm going to go ahead and head on out because really nothing left in Atlanta for me. And I really just didn't want you to say anything that's going to keep me here. And you're not really trying to be with me anyway. So Danny was like, she was like, you didn't listen to me and you listened to Zach. Like, that's why things are not going well with us. And he says, I wish you had told me what I did wrong. And she said, I didn't tell you. No, Danny, you didn't. You didn't tell him. You kept saying he need to learn how to date a Black woman. So guess what? He went out and dated other Black women. But it's not about him dating other Black women. It's about him dating you and learning you. He's not going to learn you from another Black woman. Black women come in all different shapes, sizes, and personalities. It's a lot of Black women that don't act like you. He wants to be with you. So he wanted to have a relationship with you so that he can learn how to treat you. And at the end of the day, Danny, since you ain't got shit going on, honestly, like you're not that special. To be truthful, you get high all day, you say a couple funny things here and there, and you got a revolving door of men coming in and out your house. Why would he actually want to be with you is the question. Because you didn't understand. You couldn't handle a man like him, a very loyal man. Now I get it, the whole, yeah, you mad that he was using his privilege to get inside of your apartment. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, what are you providing him? And color can't be the only barrier between y'all having a relationship. You're making it bigger than it has to be. Either you want to be with him or not. And what you should have been doing was putting your track shoes on and running after sir, because you're comparing everybody to him. So obviously you want to be with him. I just think Danny is very immature, and I want to see her character grow the fuck up in season 5, because it's just really ridiculous. So Preston gives her this plastic flower, and she's hating on just putting down the flower, talking about something. It's plastic. He says yes, because my love for you is going to live on forever, which I'm like, oh, that's cute. So then he leaves. So moving on, Zach walks into the senator's wife's room, and he says she better promise she won't say nothing. And she takes off her clothes, and he starts to drinking and tells her to turn her head. And he says, I can't do this. And he starts to walk out. And then so as he's walking out the door, there's Fatima. Okay. So Fatima says, where you going? And he's like, she's like, did you do it? He's like, no, I didn't do it. So she walks in and she sits on the end of the bed. She was like, yeah, you looking like that ain't going to hit on nothing. He ain't trying to be screwing you with this flowery robe on. You are not looking enticing at all, sis. Let me help you figure it out. You want me to get him ready for you? Because just looking at me, he gonna get it up. What you want to do that? She's like, well, I'm not into threesomes. The senator's wife says that. She's like, I'm not into threesomes. She was like, Fatima says, and I'm not into you. So I'm definitely not having a threesome with you. What I'm here for is to let you know that this right here is not happening. This is my man. Okay. And yeah, would you like your little people from your hometown of DC to know what you up in here doing, blackmailing a man over some stuff? Yeah, and you going through a divorce, right? I'm sure you wouldn't want this little indiscretion getting out to help him with his divorce case against you, because then you won't get nothing, not a zip zilch nada, because this will be infidelity, if you will. So she's like, you're not going to tell anyone, are you? You're not going to tell anyone, the senator's wife. And Fatima was like, well, that all depends on you and your mouth. So you better keep your lips closed and sealed, and as pressed together as your lips are, that's as close together mine will be. How about that? Okay. So Zach and Fatima walk out as the dynamic duo that they are. Okay. So moving on. Sabrina and Maurice are at the bank, child, having this long, meaningless convo about nothing. Like this whole scene, I wish they could have just hurried up with the minutia of conversation that her and Maurice were having, because they were talking about Calvin, and she asking about Calvin. He wondering why she asking about Calvin. She asking him about Q living there, and she don't think it's right for him to live there, and blah, blah, blah. So then in comes the police to lock them up. Now, mind you, child, my 6-year-old wouldn't believe the recording that Q sent off that's supposed to be incriminating Sabrina and Maurice. He's clearly being sarcastic. And if you flew all these agents in and they heard this recording, I would feel like it was a wasted flight for me. You mean to tell me I flew here away from my family for this bullshit? Oh no, Logan would be fired. Because what type of cop are you to listen to that and think that that makes any damn sense? This whole, so child, they done locked up Sabrina and Maurice with conspiracy to commit robbery and all this crap. There's not even enough leverage to put them in jail. And y'all set up there and planted Q in their apartment to get them. Like, and why? Why would that even be a part of it? Why would you be planting Q in their house like there's some criminals that they've been looking after for years? It didn't even make any sense. Q robbed a bank with his friends, which is what Maurice said in the recording of it all. And he did it. It was clearly all orchestrated by him. So for y'all to let him out of jail to try to somehow incriminate these two is ridiculous. And they didn't even get any money out of it. So why would, child, this is so stupid. I can't even. Tyler, please write this better. Please. I needed you to bring a conclusion to the Karen's baby situation. If you wanted to cliffhanger that with the potential abortion, miscarriage of it all, cool. But I needed you to close out this thing with the baby mama situation. At least close that out, because that's just an added story that's stupid. So you can close that out and close out the senator's wife. I would have liked to see that, and that would have still given me enough to still want to watch the next season. But now we're on a cliffhanger as if there could have just been a simple paternity test for this baby. I mean, this little boy that this lady has. And then you could have had the Karen story for next season. You could have had the Andy and Gary situation. You could have still had the Preston and Danny, because he gonna be back. And the Logan situation with Sabrina and Maurice. Why couldn't we close out at least 2 things? Child, all I'm gonna say is season 5 better come with it. It better come on with it, and it better be better than this BS, because this is a bucket of bullshit that we just watched. I left this finale feeling so unfulfilled, and not even feeling like, you know how you leave an episode like the end of P-Valley where it's like, oh, I can't wait till the next season starts. This is just like, ugh, the next season gonna start, and I don't even have high hopes of it being entertaining or anything working out. It's like I feel like I'm about to watch a whole 2 long scenes wasting my time. That's honestly how I feel about season 5. And I feel like I'm watching the show just to support Tyler Perry, but I'm like, who gonna support me in my misery of watching this foolishness? I really feel like he be playing on our intelligence with this bullshit that he puts on the screen. Like, child, it's got to get better. Let's get into these comments. Ross, what's up, Roster27? What's up? What's up? Shay, Fatima is my girl. Yes. Let me tell you something. Fatima and the Fatima and Zach character is actually saving this show, because I don't know how much longer we could have been on the hamster wheel of Gary and Andy. It's like nobody has healthy relationships but Fatima and Zach. And even that, Tyler is trying to bring turmoil constantly. I wouldn't be surprised if Jake from State Farm is the senator's son, child. But we're going to see in this new season of whatever is going on. But thank you so much for watching Roster27. I'm so glad to see you on here. When is she going to start showing? Right. When is Karen going to start showing? Because this broad been pregnant for how long now? Like, I want to see a little bulge, a little something. But honestly, this whole Karen having a baby thing, I need that to be the separation of assets with them. I don't even want Zach to be in cahoots with Karen whatsoever. I just don't. I'm over it. Me neither. I don't know if I'm gonna watch. Yeah, I don't know either, because season 5, like, I'm going to determine whether I'm even going to continue to review it off of episode 1. If nothing gets resolved in episode 1, or we don't really see any sign of some of this stuff getting resolved and maybe some new developments happening, I don't know what the future of Sistas is going to look like. It's looking very dry. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that watched this crazy finale too. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.